Bonjour, bonjour. Now I got a question, and hopefully, girl, you got the answer. I want to know, do gay people have an agenda, or do straight people have an agenda? Let's chop it up. Sorry, girl, but it's a chop. 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 Now, baby, I'm just scrolling through Facebook. I'm scrolling. You know how the girls do. You know how we all do. We just going through Facebook. We putting our little likes on things. We putting our little loves on things. We putting our little highs on things. We just doing all the things. Doing all this, I'm scrolling through Facebook and I see a specific post. And this post called my name, bitch. It was like, hey, Dundana, come and get into this. This was the post. So this thing said, putting gay people in every movie is not normalizing it, it's forcing it. Now that post received 21,000 shares, likes, loves, and grinning. Ha-has all over it. I ain't see nobody wow the shit. I ain't see no angry faces on it. Nothing but support. Now help my ignorance, because sometimes I can be ignorant and need to be educated. But when I see words like normalize and gay in the same sentence within this context, I get triggered quickly and I am confused quickly, and it leaves the door open for a multitude of questions from me, because when I read things like that, I think to myself, this is not the heart of the matter, neither is this the heart of the statement. Something lies beneath the surface, and I want to dive deep to get beneath the surface. So what's beneath the surface? This is coded language to express your homophobic views. And so before we get into this full conversation, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Go ahead and do it. I see you ain't did it yet. Come on. I'll give you a couple of seconds. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the button now. Thank you. So this is a new channel. So we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're trying to get to 4,000 hours of watch time. We want to build it. So I can only do that with you. But I want to do it by way of having these kind of conversations, okay? So thank you so much for your like, share, and your subscribing. So my first thing is that you clearly think that homosexuality is not normal, because you use we're trying to normalize it by placing gay representation in every movie, in every single show. Little do you know, niece, the person that wrote this, little do you know, niece, homosexuals were well represented before the 1920s in most movies. Most movies had gay characters. There's no issues with gay characters. It wasn't until about the 1930s when the Hays Code went into effect. Let me educate the girls. The Hays Code went into effect because there was a group of Catholic people that came together, Catholic leaders that came together with motion picture directors and the council of those girls that came together, and they said that there's a morality issue with having same-sex love on television, having folks not married on television, having black and interracial dealings on TV. All of this was a problem, and so they banned it. And so from that time, from 1930 something, girl, in 1895, do you know that was the first movie that depicted homosexuals? 1895, girl, that was the first movie that gave you gay people. And in 1927, there was a movie that featured homosexual relationships that won an Oscar. Ain't never been no issue with gay people in cinema. Ain't never been no problem. It's always been normal. Always was. Gay people been here before you, niece, and gay people gonna be here after you, niece. What are you talking about normalizing? And what took place after that, around the 1930s, after the Hays Code went into effect, around the 1930s, gay people, the depiction of homosexuals were very different. Homosexuals were no longer seen just as same-sex loving women, men loving men. It was no longer seen like that. We became the villains within movies. There was subtext around us being homosexuals. Couldn't just outright be a gay person in a movie or be depicted. And then even if you were depicted as a very effeminate person, the laughing stock, the clown, the joke. You know, that's how we were depicted in movies. And so it took a long time for us to be able to be depicted as who we truly are. Regular ass folk, human fucking beings. Took a while for us to be shown in our true natural and good light, good lighting. It took a while for us to be depicted in good light. See, I'd rather you just say I'm homophobic and I don't like gay people, I don't want to see that gay ass shit, get that gay shit out my motherfucking eyes, than to say something about normalizing it, because it is normal. There's nothing it's normal. Homosexuality is normal. Girl, let me say it again. Homosexuality is normal. It's normal, niece. It's always been. It's always been here. Which then goes into this other idea as if homosexuality is new. I was scrolling through the comments, and literally that is one of the things that I read in the comments, because I was like, girl, let me go through the comments and see if the people, because I know the girls is coming through tearing this up. And yes, there was some bitches in there, some of the girls battling, some of the girls warring in there. And I love you and I appreciate some of you that defended the LGBTQIA coalition, that defended the girls, but then it was still so many people with that rhetoric. And I'm like, there's nothing new about homosexuality. Fuck is you talking about? Gay people always been here. And so what's the problem with gay representation? And so you'd rather limit us and relegate us to be behind the camera as your hairdressers, and the girls that's doing your nails, and the girls that's getting you ready to be in front of the camera and things like that. But you don't want our gay ass in front of your camera. That's what this is about. I don't want to see you. I don't want my children to see you. What about the children? Let's get into that. As long as I can remember growing up, girl, I've always seen opposite sex relationships or heterosexual relationships on TV and in cinema. Always. That's always been the tea. And so while I've always seen heterosexual relationships in cinema on my television, that seems to be more the agenda than anything else, to push this heteronormative agenda and idea, and trying to normalize this as the supreme and as the one. Like, this is the way relationships are supposed to be. This is, and anything outside of this is incorrect. Anything outside of man and woman, male and female, is wrong. I've always seen it that way. And so who has the agenda? Who is trying to who's teaching these things in school? I'm not saying that that's not the natural order, that male and female don't produce children and don't produce. However, sex between men and women is very natural and very normal, because the feelings exist, the attractions exist in people for the same sex, and not only in people, in animals. Human beings are the only creatures that create that. First of all, let me say it like this: human beings are the only creatures, or the only beings that have logic and reasoning, and they use that to govern and control behavior, and to govern and control sexuality. And so we use that and say what you should and should not do, what's morally correct and incorrect to do with your body and to do sexually. We tell you God said it's wrong. We tell you all these, so society said it's wrong and all this other stuff. However, little did you know, do you research these? Do your research. Because someone told you it was wrong. You just don't feel like that. Did you know in Greek times that not only was it acceptable for you to be boy on boy, man on man, girl on girl, but it was required. It was required that you had you a little booty. I don't care what you say. See, some of you bitches right now probably logged off and got off because, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. Black girls, if you was born in motherfucking the 1800s during slavery, you would have been a slave, because you would have been subject to the times, right? So if you was born during those Greek times, during those ancient times when homosexuality was not stigmatized and frowned upon, you would have been dealing with another nigga. Bitches, you would have been dealing with another bitch and it would have been no problem, because didn't nobody look at it no kind of way. You roll into all this bullshit now because we got some literature telling you that the shit is wrong. Something that nan one of you was present for. Something that nan one of you was there when it was written. Something that they ain't wanted, but y'all wholeheartedly are convicted and have true, deep running convictions towards all this shit that y'all can't even prove is right. I said it, girl. Y'all can't even prove that shit, but y'all hold on fast to it. And y'all don't let people be themselves. And you make statements like this, and we trying to force something down your throat, and we got an agenda. Girl, I was reading through the comments, girl. Like, yeah, y'all talking real stupid in here. Ain't no agenda. If anybody got an agenda, straight people have an agenda. Straight people have an agenda. These animals practice homosexuality. Animals have same-sex relationships. Giraffes will have a relationship, same-sex relationship. Oh, and baby, they don't just get straight to the T. They don't get straight to the shit and get to fucking on each other. Oh, no, they flirt. Oh, they lick each other neck. They neck a little bit and stuff like that. You know, they get the other one hot and ready and things like that. And then they get into it. And they stay together for a long time. Lions in Pride Rock, bitch. Mufasa, girl. I know y'all thought he was strong. He was giving trade down. Mufasa needs her. And do you think Sarabi? Do you think Sarabi was like, oh, I don't know if I can have Simba. I don't know if I can have his cubs, girl. I might have to have an abortion. I don't know if I can go through with it because I caught his ass down there with the niggas. No. Bitch, they toot that ass up. Toot that thing up, mama, make it roll. They don't go through what we go through. They don't have all that stupid ass shit because they understand that sexuality, well, I can't say that animals understand that sexuality is fluid, but they're instinctual. And so they're going to do what they feel. Sexuality is fluid, huge spectrum. And so if animals can go ahead and share that kind of love and relationship with one another, what in the fuck is the problem with people doing the same exact goddamn shit? What ain't normal about it? This ain't new shit. Bitch, you talking about something new. That shit ain't, I'm scrolling through, you talking about new. Nothing is new. Homosexuality ain't new. Language is new. Words to express and to give depiction and description to behavior, that's new. We come up with new words all the time. However, the behaviors have existed well before your study of those behaviors. I.e. you studied it, thus you study in the behavior. Because the behavior was there before you came up with language for it. Doesn't make it new. I don't know what century the term homosexuality was coined in. I can look that up. And it ain't that damn new either. But please, okay? Ain't nothing new. Your book say ain't nothing new under the sun. It ain't new. It was here before your book. Girl, it'll be here after your book. Okay? Now let's keep getting into it because the spidey senses was truly tingling. Straight people need to have this conversation with one another amongst yourselves. Why does homosexuality make you so uncomfortable? We don't need to, the LGBTQIA don't need to discuss that. That's a conversation that straight people need to have amongst yourselves. And y'all need to come up with something. Lock yourselves in a room, girl, and discuss it. And get it together. And don't come out till you got the right answer neither. Don't come out until you can reconcile your differences. Because it ain't going nowhere. What is wrong with having gay representation? And you talk about in every single show that as if gay people don't exist. Normalizing it as if we not real. As if we just showed up. As if it's a problem. That's what all that content, all of that suggests. Your internalized homophobia is the problem. Why? Because religion, your literature from religion, and society taught you to be that way. That's what was taught. That's what is learned behavior. That's not innate. You don't innately and distinct. You don't just hate gay people because you hate because you just feel like that. Because it's not right. All of that rhetoric stems from somewhere else. And someplace else that you had nothing to do with you. You wasn't there when the shit was written, girl. That get me the most. I'm like, you don't do your own research on none of it. And sexuality is clearly enforced and taught on children anyway. And it's not because gay people have an agenda and they're trying to push something. It's because straight people have this agenda and trying to push that idea and notion that this is what's morally correct and this is the way that things are supposed to be. That's why many of y'all didn't want to have sex before marriage, and because the book told you that everything told you what you were supposed to do. Everything told you what it was taught you. Don't make it right neither. And many of you did things outside of that shit anyway. We cherry pick, girl. We cherry pick. And so don't think for a second just because there's going to be LGBTQ history in books that then this is what's going to make the children gay. And because we got gay people all over the place and gay people on TV and stuff like this is what's going to cause the children to be gay. Because if that's the case, I would be a straight white man right now. That's all I ever seen on the TV. What is you talking about? If that's the case, we wouldn't have so many varying things out there right now in the world. If that was the tea. Because of what we saw, that being the great influence over people. And then that we all brainwashed. No, people still gonna have be individuals. People still going to go into their own uniqueness. Still. Because what's innately and inherently in you is what's in you, and that's what's going to come out no matter who try to stifle it. No matter who try to stop it. That's why I'm telling you girls right now, if you got a problem with what you see as far as gay people being in every show, which we are not. Gay people being in everything, which we ain't enough of us. Because I tell you right now, I don't watch nothing unless there is a gay character represented. I don't watch it. I don't want to see that. I'm good. I didn't watch that shit for 30 years. Girl, I'm good. I don't want to see that. I want to see my people doing what the fuck we do. I want to have a good time. That's what I'm into. So if you got a problem with that, if you got an issue with people, gay people being in everything, which we ain't, you might as well let that go. You might as well take that to the king. Take me to his ass. Girl, leave here. You might as well get on up out of here. Because it's not going to stop. The world is changing and evolving. It's disgusting to see 21,000 motherfucking people shared that shit. But that still ain't stopping this shit. That still ain't, and it's not an agenda, it's evolution. It's people evolving and growing up and maturing and becoming inclusive and starting to love people and getting away from old rigid structures and traditions and things that told them that they shouldn't and told them to be separate and told them that division was the right way. Absolutely not. I've seen people throw away their children. I've seen people get thrown out of homes and houses and stuff like that because of who they are. Not because of who they chose to be, because of who they are. And the acceptance of who they were by them accepting who they were. I've seen people tossed away from families. And unfortunately, they've spiraled into things that were so unfortunate for their life. And it was because of the lack of community support and love that they did not get from family members. And while we make crass statements like that, and probably in jest, you probably didn't mean so much, but it means a lot. And you say things like that, we forcing, say ain't nobody forcing nothing. And don't disrespect us either. Because we always been here, daughter, and we ain't going nowhere, and we'll be here. We was here before you, niece. We'll be here after you, daughter. And so, grandniece, in conclusion, while we thank you for showing up to the ball and walking the category, girl, and we know you were posting down for 10s, we know you thought you was going to snatch the grand prizes and get the 10s. It's a chop, honey. Oh, it's a chop, girl. Oh, it's a chop, daughter. Sorry. You chopped. You chopped. Ciao, Bella. Ciao.